गिरिधारी श्री श्री राधा विनोद बिहारी जू की जाय। श्री गोविंद गोपीनाथ मदन मोहन जू की जाय। नित्यालोक विष्णु विष्णुपार अष्टोत्तर शत शिशुमार भक्ति वेदांत नारायण गोसाई महाराज श्रील गुरुदेव की जाय। नित्यालोक विष्णु विष्णुपार अष्टोत्तर शत शिशुमार भक्ति वेदांत वामन गोसाई महाराज की जाय। नित्यालोक विष्णु विष्णुपार अष्टोत्तर शत शिशुमार भक्ति वेदांत स्वामी महाराज श्रील प्रभुपाद की जाय। नित्यालोक विष्णु विष्णुपाद अष्टोत्तर शत शिशुमार भक्ति प्रज्ञान केशव गोसाई महाराज की जाय। नित्यालोक विष्णु विष्णुपाद अष्टोत्तर शत शिशुमार भक्ति सिद्धांत सरस्वती गोसाई प्रभुपाद की जाय। नित्यालोक विष्णु महाभागवत श्रील गोक्षर बाबूजी महाराज की जाय। नित्यालोक विश्व वैष्णव सार्वभौम श्री जगन्नाथ दास बाबूजी महाराज की जाय। श्री रूपानु गौरिया गुरु वर्ग की जाय। श्री रूप सनातन भट्ट रघुनाथ श्री जीव गोपाल भट्टदास रघुनाथ शार गोसाई प्रभु की जाय। श्री स्वरूप दामोदर राय रामानंदारी श्री गौर पार्षद वृंद की जाय। नाम अक्षय श्री हरिदास ठाकुर की जाय। प्रेम से कहो श्री कृष्ण चैतन्य प्रभु नित्यानंद श्री अद्वैत गदाधार शिवासरी गौर भक्त वृंद की जाय। श्री क्षेत्र मंडल गौर मंडल व्रज मंडल मथुर वृंदावन धाम की जाय। सर्व अभिष्ट विदाते गिरिराज महाराज की जाय। श्री राधा कुंड श्याम कुंड की जाय। श्री तुलसी महारानी बिंदु देवी की जय। जय श्री हरिनाम संकीर्तन की जय। जय श्री दामोदराष्टक की जय। जय श्री जय श्री हरिनाम संकीर्तन की जय। जय श्री यशोदा दामोदर की जय। श्री राधा दामोदर की जय। श्री दामोदर व्रत की जय। कार्तिक व्रत नियम सेवा की जय। उर्ज व्रत की जय। उर्जे श्री रसे श्री शिव शुभानुनंदिनी श्रीमती राधा ठाकुरानी की जय। श्री हरिनाम संकीर्तन की जय। अनंत कोटि वैष्णव वृंद की जय। समागत गौर भक्त वृंद की जय। श्री निताय गौर प्रेमानंदे हरि हरि बोल। Let's do Mangalacharan and then we'll begin. ज्ञानतिमिरन्धस्य ज्ञानाञ्जनशलाकया चक्षुरुन्मिलितं येन तस्मै श्रीगुरुवे नमः। गुरुवे गौरचन्द्राय राधिकायै तदालये कृष्णाय कृष्णभक्ताय तद्भक्ताय नमो नमः। वंशकल्पतरुभ्यश्च कृपा सिन्धुभ्य एव च पतितानां पावनेभ्यो वैष्णवेभ्यो नमो नमः। नमो महावदन्याय कृष्णप्रेमप्रदायते कृष्णाय कृष्णचैतन्य नाम्ने गौरत्पिषे नमः। अङ्गश्यामलिमठटाभिरवितो मन्दीकृतेन्दीवरम् जाड्यां जागुडुरोचिषं विदधतं पट्टाम्बरस्य श्रिया। वृन्दारण्यविलासिनं हृदि लसत् दामाभिरामोदरं राधास्कन्धनिवेशितोज्ज्वलभुजं ध्यायेम दामोदरम्। तवैवास्मि न जीवामि त्वया विना इति विज्ञाय देवी त्वं नायमं शरणन्तिकम्। भक्त्या विहीना अपराधलक्षय क्षिप्ताष्टकामादितराङ्गमध्ये कृपामयि त्वं शरणं प्रपन्ना वृन्दे नमस्ते चरणारविन्दम्। भज श्री कृष्ण चैतन्य प्रभु नित्यानंद श्री अद्वैत गदाधर शिवासरि गौर भक्त वृंद। Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Dandavat Pranams, everybody. Let's see. Um, Bhavatarani Mataji, Nri Hari Prabhu, Anadi Krishna Prabhu, Nitai Mukesh ji, Ganga Mataji, Raseshwari Mataji, Indira Mataji. Um, I don't know who else is there. If you leave a comment, I'll know. But yeah, Dhanavad pranams everybody. And also pranams to all the devotees watching in the future. Shachi Devi, Jayadev Prabhu, Krishna Rose, Ananda Pradayini, and everybody else. Hare Krishna. So today we are going to read Dāmodarāṣṭakam, verse 7, and the commentaries of the Dig-darśinī-ṭīkā of Srila Sanatana Goswami Pad, and also our Srila Gurudev's commentary, the Dig-darśinī vṛtti. Haribol Champak Mataji. Yeah, let's begin. I'm in the middle of reading Miracle on Second Avenue. Oh my God. I very highly recommend it. I couldn't stop reading it this morning. Well, I'm just listening to the audiobook, but yeah, the whole morning, yeah, anyways, it's really good. How come it's not going? Actually, before we begin, let's recite the Dāmodarāṣṭakam. Namamishwaram Sachiranandarupam Lasatkundalam Gokule Brajamanam Yashodabhiyolukala Dhavamanam Paramrishtamadhyantadrutya Gosyam Rudantamuhurnetra Yugmamrejantam Karam bhojayogmena satam kanetram muhushvasakampa trirekhankha kantha stita graiva bhakti-bhājau iti driksvalilabhir ananda kunde swaghosham nimajjantam akyapayantam Tadiyeshitageshu bhaktarjita puna premata samshrata vritti bande varam deva mokṣam na mokṣavadin va na chanyam vrineham varesharapiha idam te vapurnata gopala balam Sada me manasya virasam timaya idam te mukham bhojam avyakta nilair vrittam kuntalai snigdha raktaishta gopyam mohushtum vittam bimbarakta dharan me manasya virasam alam lakshalabhai Namo Deva Dāmodarānanta Vishnu Prasida Prabhu Dukha Jalapti Magna Kripa Drishti Vrishtyati Dinam Patano Grihane Shamam Agyam Etyakshi Drishyai kuverātmajau baddha-mūrtyaiva yadvat tvayā mocitau bhakti-bhājau kṛtau tathā prema-bhaktiṁ svakāṁ prayaccha na mokṣe graho mesti Dāmodareha Namaste Sudhamne Spuradipti Dhamne tvayā vishvasadhāme namo radhikāyai tvayā namo nantalilai devaya tuyam namo radhikāyai tvayā namo radhikāyai tvayā namo nantalilai devaya tuyam namo nantalilai devaya tuyam Radha Dāmodara, Radha Dāmodara, Dāmodara, Radha Dāmodara, Jai Radha Dāmodara, Radha Dāmodara, Radhe, Hari Bol, Hari Bol, Hari Bol, Nitai Gaur, Hari Bol, Nitai Gaur, Hari Bol. Hari Bol, Hari Bol, Nitai Gaur, Hari Bol. Oh, Champak Mataji is asking, who wrote the Miracle on Second Avenue? It's Mukunda Maharaj. He is the first, really, isn't he? Like the first, yeah, at least one of the very first. Pretty much the first, anyways, yeah. And, oh, God. Anyways, you have to read it. Okay, so verse 7. Okay, so I'm gonna try doing it in the proper meter, which I'm not very used to doing. Let's see. My God, the monkeys are going nuts outside. Okay. Kuverātmajau baddha-mūrtyaiva yadvat tvayā mocitau bhakti-bhājau kṛtau tathā prema-bhaktiṁ svakāṁ prayaccha mokṣe graho Dāmodareha. Look, there's a civil war going on outside. You can't hear it because I have noise cancellation on, but it's nuts. It's been going on for a while now. Like seems like two groups of monkeys are attacking each other. I don't know. Probably that's not what it is. Okay. So let's go through the meaning of the words. Kuverātmajau, the two sons of Kuvera, Kuvera and Manigriva. Baddha-mūrtyaiva, yadvat, mocitau bhakti. Let's read the translation first and then we'll go over the word for it. So, O Dāmodara, even though you are bound with a rope to the grinding mortar by your mother, you set the two sons of Kuvera, Kuvera and Manigriva, you set them free from Sri Narad's curse that they live as twin Arjuna trees. And you enabled them to become recipients of the highest possible attainment, bhakti. In the same way, please profusely bestow upon me prema-bhakti for you. I long for this alone. I do not want any other kind of liberation. Okay, so these words yadvat and tathā go together, just as similarly. Okay, so kuverātmajau baddha-mūrtyaiva yadvat tvayā mocitau bhakti-bhājau kṛtau. What's bhakti-bhājau? Both recipients of bhakti. Okay. So my mind's a bit distracted this morning. My brother's coming tonight, and so I'm just like my mind's been thinking about how to set everything up for him when he comes here. But okay. So although you yourself were bound, you are baddha-mūrtyaiva, yourself being bound. Tvayā mocitau bhakti-bhājau kṛtau. These two sons of Kuvera, kuverātmajau, they were liberated. Those two were liberated, and they became recipients, and you made them recipients of bhakti, bhakti-bhājau. Tvayā means by you. Bhakti-bhājau kṛtau. You made them bhājau, those two recipients of bhakti. Tathā. So just as, yadvat means just as you've done this, just as you've made the two sons of Kuvera recipients of bhakti, tathā, similarly, prema-bhaktiṁ svakāṁ me prayaccha. Please give bhakti svakāṁ, your own bhakti unto you. Right? Is that right? Anyways, prayaccha means please give me to me. Na mokṣe graho mesti Dāmodareha. I do not. Graho means like accept, right? I do not. Oh, here it says. Oh no, it means yearning. Okay, so I do not yearn for moksha. Dāmodare. Oh Dāmodara. Only for this. Oh bhakta-vatsal Dāmodara. Okay, asti. So asti means there is no yearning, graho, for moksha. Na graho moksha. I have no desire for moksha. Oh Dāmodara. Okay. So now let's go through the Dig-darśinī-ṭīkā. So that wasn't a very good explanation. I just wasn't really, didn't have it in my mind yet. Okay, Dig-darśinī-ṭīkā bhavanuvad. In the previous verse, Sri Satyavrat Muni prayed with great eagerness for direct darshan of Sri Bhagavan, because he was overcome by a special kind of prem vishesh. However, due to the extraordinary longing in his prayers, a form of prema-bhakti instantly awakened, indicating the sprout of prema, or the stage of bhakti, causing him to realize that such direct darshan is only rarely accomplished. Right? In the previous verse, he said, Akshi drishya, right? Please become visible directly to my eyes. But yeah. But actually, he was realizing that this kind of direct darshan is only rarely accomplished. Therefore, having determined that prema bhakti is certainly the only means to attain that darshan, he now prays to Sri Bhagavan with the hope of attaining prema bhakti. Alternatively, the sage fears that his mind will not be satiated after having Sri Bhagavan's darshan only once. And at the same time, he dreads the agony of separation from Sri Bhagavan when he will not be able to see him the very next moment. He therefore prays to attain prema bhakti, having ascertained that prema bhakti is the sole means of capturing the Lord forever. Despite this conclusion, he still felt apprehensive. How can such a severe offender like me attain the most rare treasure of prema bhakti? However, he was comforted when he remembered Sri Bhagavan's glorious quality of bhakta-vatsalya, by which Sri Bhagavan makes the impossible possible. With this conviction, he rejected all varieties of mokṣe, and now, in this verse beginning with kuverātmajau, he exclusively prays for prema bhakti. Haribol, Madhubala Didi, and Pramila Didi. With the words baddha-mūrtyaiva, the sage says, despite exhibiting the exceptional characteristic of allowing Sri Yashoda Gopi to bind you to a grinding mortar with rope, in your divine form, your Sri Vigraha of Sri Dāmodara, in other words, even in this exceptional form in which you yourself were bound, you delivered the two sons of Kuvera from their bondage. Even though you were bound, you liberated them from their bondage. This statement reveals the incomparable fortune of the twin Arjuna trees, who were able to see and touch Sri Krishna personally while he enacted his supremely enchanting pastimes. Sri Krishna had pulled the grinding mortar Sri Krishna had pulled the grinding mortar behind him and crawled between the two trees. Although he was himself in a state of being bound, he liberated, mocitau, the two sons of Kuvera, Nalakuvara and Manigriva. But he did not just free them from Sri Narad's curse and liberate them from material existence, he also gave both of them prema-bhakti for him. And we read a few days back on Deepavali Day, right? We read about how Nalakuvara and Manigriva are madhukanta and snigdhakanta. They eternally they recite the pastimes of Krishna and Balaram to all the Brajvasis every morning. If someone is addressed by the phrase bhakti-bhājau, recipients of bhakti, it is understood that they have taken irrevocable shelter of bhakti as the ultimate goal, and they will never neglect bhakti in any way. Therefore, when the sage says, bhakti-bhājau kṛtau cha, you made both of them so dedicated to bhakti, when he says this, he is clearly indicating that Sri Bhagavan granted them prema-bhakti. Not any other kind of bhakti, only prema-bhakti. In this regard, a statement is found in Srimad Bhagavatam 10.10.42, spoken to Nalakuvara and Manigriva by Sri Bhagavan himself. Okay, so this statement of Srimad Bhagavatam, spoken to Nalakuvara and Manigriva by Sri Bhagavan himself, is evidence of this. He said, Sanjato mai bhavo vamipsita paramo bhava. The prema for me that you both greatly desired has now fully arisen within your hearts. Because of this prema, you will never again become trapped in material existence. Srila Sanatana Goswami explains this verse as follows. Sri Bhagavan is saying, O Nalukuvar and Manigriva, the prema, the parama-bhava for me, mai, that the two of you, vam, desired, ipsita, has now fully arisen, sanjato, in you. Therefore, you will no longer have to suffer the pain of repeated birth and death in material existence. Abhava. That's the translation. That's a word-for-word translation of these words from Srimad Bhagavatam. Sri Satyavrat Muni prays, O Dāmodara, just as you granted prema-bhakti to the two sons of Kuvera without any cause, similarly, please profusely bestow upon me prema-bhakti for you, which is characterized by taking absolute shelter of your lotus feet. Or, please grant me prema-bhakti for your beautiful form as a small child who is bound by your mother's rope. Shri Krishna may ask, why are you insisting on prema-bhakti to the exclusion of everything else? Why will you not accept liberation, mokṣe, as well, just as the two sons of Kuvera did? Otherwise, you have to repeatedly suffer miseries like birth and death within the material existence. In reply to this, Sri Satyavrat Muni explains, I only insist on attaining this prema-bhakti. I do not want to accept mokṣa. The meaning of Sri Satyavrat Muni's words is this. If my repeated birth and death within material existence is destroyed by prema-bhakti, then let it be destroyed. And if it is not, then I do not care. I have no expectation either way. The sage's deep mood is understood by a simple example. If someone obtains a wish-fulfilling Chintamani gem, then he'll easily attain everything else. Therefore, in the presence of prema-bhakti, What is the use of accepting a single insignificant boon like moksha? Haribol Vidilala Sadidi. These words of the sage, oh, and Chatamai Mataji, Haribol. These words of the sage may also be understood in another way. He prays, O Dāmodara, please grant me prema bhakti specifically to you, svakāṁ. Here, by addressing his Lord as Dāmodara, the sage prays for prema bhakti that is specifically related to the form of Bhagavan whose belly is bound by rope. It is possible to interpret this to mean that the sage selfishly wants Sri Bhagavan's waist to remain uncomfortably bound by rope forever. Fearing his prayer may be misunderstood in this way, he says, Na mokṣe graho mesti. Do you think that I want you to remain tied? That I do not want you to be released from the bondage of your mother's rope? Overwhelmed with regret, the sage says, I am certainly concerned for you. However, kindly grant me that uncommon prema bhakti, which I fervently cherish in relation to your exceptional form as Dāmodara, who is bound by the prema of Mother Yashoda. Now, Srila Sanatana Goswami reveals yet another meaning of this verse. One can also interpret the word iha in this to mean here in Vrindavan. By this interpretation, it is understood that the sage prays, please grant me prema bhakti in Vrindavan. Accordingly, the special joy that prema bhakti only accordingly, the special joy of that prema bhakti only appears in Sri Vrindavan, nowhere else. Because such prema bhakti manifests predominantly in Sri Vrindavan, the sage prays to see the bound form of Sri Bhagavan there. This special form of Sri Bhagavan, when he is bound up, can only be seen there. So in order to see this form directly, and also because of his extraordinary desire to see Vrindavan Bihari, Sri Bhagavan, as he who blissfully enjoys in Vrindavan in his threefold bending form, the sage is praying to reside in Sri Vrindavan forever. This is indirectly conveyed through the word iha. Means here in Vrindavan. The other portions of this verse are not affected by this and should be understood according to the explanation already given. Thus ends the English rendition of the Dig-darśinī-ṭīkā on the 7th verse. And now is the Dig-darśinī-vṛtti by Srila Gurudev. In the previous verse, Sri Satyavrata Muni performed Nam Sankirtan with a melted heart. Right? What did he sing? Namo Deva Dāmodara, Ananta Vishnu, and Prabhu and Isha. Those 6 names. He did Nam Sankirtan of those 6 names. By the potency of Nam Sankirtan, he received darshan of his worshipful Dāmodara for just a moment. It is as if Sri Krishna said to him, O sage, I am pleased with you. Request anything you wish. Satyavrata Muni now says, even though you were yourself bound, you freed the 2 sons of Kuvera, Nala-Kuvara and Manigriv, who had been cursed by Sri Narad to live as twin Arjuna trees. And you also delivered them from the repeated cycle of birth and death within material existence. Furthermore, you made them the recipients of the highest form of bhakti to you by granting them prema bhakti. In the same way, please profusely bestow upon me prema bhakti for you. Kuvera is the treasurer of the demigods, and his 2 sons, because of their vast wealth, became intoxicated by pride. The scriptures describe 4 characteristics that intoxicate a man who possesses them. Great opulence and wealth is one of these. The other 3 are beauty, learning, and noble birth. Ohiman Dhana Mada Nitanta Asar. I think that's a song by Bhaktivinoda Thakur. Dhana Mada Nitanta Asar. I think that is. But it's about that. Why are you so intoxicated by your wealth, which is temporary, which is extremely fleeting? A curse given by a saint is identical to his blessing. Both are meant for our ultimate benefit. But we cannot always understand this. Sri Narad apparently cursed the sons of Kuvera, Nalakuvara, and Manigriv. Narad cursed them like this: intoxicated by the pride of wealth, you have become so dull that you are acting like trees. So be it. Become trees. The moment these words issued from Sri Narad's mouth, the two sons of Kuvera could feel their bodies turning into trees. They fell at Sri Narad's lotus feet and begged him to arrange for their deliverance. Sri Narad consoled them. Listen, at the end of Dwapara Yuga, Swayam Bhagavan Sri Krishna, the original personality of Godhead, will appear in Gokul and deliver you. Saying this, Sri Narad left that place, and subsequently, the two brothers took birth as twin Arjuna trees in the courtyard of Sri Nanda Maharaja's house. After tying up Sri Krishna, Mother Yashoda returned to the house to turn yogurt. At that time, Sri Krishna recalled this incident and the statement made by his dear devotee Sri Narad ordaining the deliverance of the two sons of Kuvera. Pretending that he was simply playing with his friends, he crawled over to the two Arjuna trees to deliver them, pulling the grinding mortar behind him. When he crawled between the two trees, the grinding mortar became lodged between them. And as Sri Krishna pulled it with great force, the massive trees came crashing to the ground, making a tumultuous sound. From the ancient trees, two heavenly personalities at once emerged, circumambulated Sri Krishna, and began offering prayers to him. Sri Krishna then blessed them both with prema-bhakti. Those two personalities became the famous narrators, Madhukanta and Snigdhakanta, in Aprakarta Vraj, the unmanifest Vrajdam situated in the heart of the spiritual sky. There, they eternally recite the sweet pastimes of Sri Krishna and Sri Nanda Maharaja's assembly. Srila Rupa Goswami Pad explains how one can attain prema-bhakti. Adau shraddha tathā sadhu sangota bhajana Adau shraddha tathā sadhu sangota bhajana kriya tato nartha vṛtti syat tato nishta ruchis tata atha saktis tato bhavas tatha prema bhyudhanchati sadhakanam ayang premna pradhurbhave bhavekrama. It's Bhakti Rasamrita Sindhu, Purva, chapter 4, verses 15 to 16. In the heart of the sadhak, first shraddha, first faith develops. After that comes sadhu sangha, association with saints, bhajana kriya, regulated devotional activities, and then anartha nivritti, the clearing of unwanted habits. Next, the sadhak develops nishta and bhajan, its fixed determination in devotional service, followed by ruchi, by taste. Then he develops asakti, intense attachment to bhajan, and to the object of bhajan. Brajendra Nandan Shri Krishna, so not only is he attached to the process of bhajan, but directly to the object of bhajan, Brajendra Nandan Shri Krishna, in the stage of asakti. After this, Shuddha Sattva, pure, unalloyed, transcendental existence, descends in the heart of the sadhak in the form of bhav, spiritual emotions. And finally, prema arises. This is the gradual development of love of Godhead. Prema-bhakti actually develops in many sequences, but the most celebrated process, and the one that is delineated in the scriptures, is described here. From time immemorial, all the souls who are averse to Sri Bhagavan have been tossed about by the countless waves of misery in the fathomless ocean of material existence. They have simply been wandering aimlessly. However, when by the grace of Sri Bhagavan, when by the special grace of Sri Bhagavan, the time comes for their worldly entanglements to end, they attain the company of devotees. In the association of saints, a sadhak obtains the great fortune of hearing the glories of the bhaktas, of bhakti, and of Bhagavan directly from the mouths of exalted personalities. Next, as a result of bhakti unmukhi sukriti, pious merits related to bhakti, transcendental faith, or paramarthik shraddha, arises within the sadhak's heart. The indication that this kind of shraddha has awakened in his heart is that he firmly believes in the statements of the scriptures and longs to hear Harikatha. Upon the dawning of such faith, in a sincere way, he begins to associate with devotees. At this point, he begins to practice bhajan, and his anarthas start to vanish. His bhajan soon becomes steadfast, he has nishtha, and subsequently acquires a taste, a ruchi, for the process. Eventually, he develops profound attachment, asakti, to his bhajan and to the object of his bhajan, his worshipful Lord. When this stage matures, it becomes bhav, the sprouting stage of ecstatic loving emotions. Then, prem finally arises in his heart. This is a sequence in which prem appears within the heart of a sadhak. Hearing the prayers of Satyavrat Muni, Sri Krishna says, "O sage, you should accept liberation, which includes complete freedom from all the miseries of material existence." The sage responds, "O my Lord, I may encounter innumerable troubles in this life, and according to my past deeds and impressions, I may have to take birth in any species of life, or even in hell, but I have no concern for my material fate. I just beg you to give me abundant prema bhakti for you. This is my only prayer." All of our acharyas explain that if a sadhak wants to attain this prema bhakti, he must always seek the association of those who have prema bhakti. He must always seek the association of those who have prema bhakti, for Sri Bhagavan in their heart. Vṛttarasura's prayer found in Srimad Bhagavatam 6:11-27 illustrates such strong aspiration for this type of association. Vṛttarasura has 4 prayers, and already 2 of them were quoted in a previous chapter, I forgot which chapter, and now another verse. All these verses are they're really worth memorizing, actually. Mamuttama shloka janeshu sakyam sansara chakre bhramata swakarmibhi tvanmayayatmatmajaya. Let me try that again. Tvanmayayatmatmajagdaragehe chittasya nanata bhuyat. I remember when I was living in Puri, Udayan Maharaj had us memorize all of them, but kind of forgot them now. O Master, I do not want liberation. I am not concerned if I must repeatedly roam about in this vicious cycle of birth and death as a result of my actions. But I pray that wherever I go, and in whichever species I take birth, may I maintain loving friendships with your dear devotees who have prema bhakti for you. O Master, I pray that I will not have to maintain any relation with those who are subjected to your illusory potency and are therefore attached to their bodies, homes, wives, children, families, and others. A genuine sadhak should aspire to have such lobh, such intense greed, to attain prema bhakti for Sri Bhagavan. This lobh can appear in anyone, in any stage of life. If raganuga bhakti, this spontaneous loving devotion, which is characterized by intense greed, arises in someone's heart, he becomes worshipful for the whole world. Furthermore, by his prema bhakti, he even brings Sri Krishna, who is unconquerable, under his control. I just want, sorry. Okay. Thus, oops, we're almost finished. Thus, Sri Satyavrat Muni prays, O Master, you are bound by the rope of your mother's love. Please profusely bestow upon me prema bhakti for your form as Dāmodara, who is bound by his devotee. Thus ends the Dig-darśinī vṛtti on the 7th verse. Okay, and I'm going to end here because I actually have a lot of work to do today. I'm going to try to translate 2 stotrams, which I'm adding to the songbook. And I actually need to finish that. I'd like to finish it really soon because I need to also prepare for my brother coming. So yeah, we're ending early today. I just want to find the thing about Vritrasura's prayers though. There is, oh God, I think it's in Madhurya Kadambini. One second, let me just find this. There's a scriptural statement about how, I can't remember where it's from. Let me just type in Vritrasura. I think I remember it in Madhurya Kadambini. Vritrasura. How do you spell it? Oops. Vrit, Here, let's see. Yeah, Padma Purana. All right, what is it? Which Purana? One second. Okay, so Srila Jiva Goswami has quoted these. Okay, so wait. This is in our Gurudev's commentary of Madhurya Kadamini. He says, thus, despite being in the body of the demon, Chitraketu, or Vritrasura, not only remained immersed in remembrance of Bhagavan, but also achieved direct darshan of him. Srila Jiva Goswami has quoted these 4 verses of Vritrasura, these prayers of Vritrasura, in his Priti Sandarbha Anuched 72. And in conclusion, he writes this whole Sanskrit thing. The meaning here is that Vritrasura's words reveal his immaculate praying for Bhagavan. This is why the account of the killing of Vritrasura is regarded as special within Srimad Bhagavatam. Are unique. What was the word here? Anyways. Anyways, sorry. Other Puranas also accept these prayers as uppermost among the features of Srimad Bhagavatam. The Matsya Puran also states that the killing of Vritrasura has been described in the work entitled Bhagavatam. So yeah, these prayers, Purana, Srila Jiva Goswami is saying, other Puranas state that these prayers are uppermost among the features of Srimad Bhagavatam. Yeah, so these prayers are very important. As you say, Shri Bhagavat Lakshaneshu Puranantareshu Ganyate Vitrasura Vadopetam Tad Bhagavam Ishyate iti. Anyhow. All right. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Nitai Gaur Hari Bol, Hari Bol, Hari Bol, Nitai Gaur Hari Bol, Nitai Gaur Hari Bol, Hari Bol, Hari Bol, Nitai Gaur Hari Bol. जय श्री सच्चिनंदन गौर हरि की जय, श्री श्री राधा विनोद बिहारी जू की जय, श्री गोविंद गोपीनाथ मदन मोहन जू की जय, जय श्री गुरुदेव की जय, जय श्री परम गुरुदेव की जय, श्री प्रभुपाद की जय, श्री रूपानु गौरिया गुरु वर्ग की जय, सब पार्षद गौर नित्यानंद प्रभु की जय, श्री राधा कृष्ण गोप गोपीगण की जय, श्री गिरिराज महाराज की जय, श्री तुलसी महारानी वृंद देवी की जय, श्री हरिनाम संकीर्तन की जय, जय श्री दामोदराष्टक की जय, जय श्री यशोदा दामोदर की जय, श्री राधा दामोदर की जय, जय श्री हरिनाम संकीर्तन की जय, अनंत कोटि वैष्णव वृंद की जय, जय श्री विश्वभानुनंदिनी श्रीमती राधा ठाकुरानी की जय, श्री अनंत कोटि वैष्णव वृंद की जय, समागत गौर भक्त वृंद की जय, श्रीनिताय गौर प्रेमानंदे हरि हरि बोल। वृंदाय तुलसीदेवाय प्रियाय केशवाष्टा कृष्ण भक्ति प्रदेवी सत्यवताय नमो नमः। पंचकल्पतरुभ्यश्च कृपा सिन्धुभ्य एव च पतितानां पावनेभ्यो वैष्णवेभ्यो नमो नमः। Dandavat pranams. So tomorrow is Dhananjay Pandit's disappearance day, Shri Gadadhar Das Thakur's disappearance day, Srila Srinivas Acharya's disappearance day. So big day tomorrow. And there's two more things. What else is that? Anyways, my calendar is not opening. Anyways, so tomorrow we will read about all these personalities. And then the day after tomorrow, we will complete our reading of Sri Dāmodarāṣṭakam. Yeah, well, the last the verse 8, the commentary is not so long. So yeah, we'll be done soon. Dandavat pranams, Nri Hari Prabhu, Bhavatarni Mataji, Chatamai Mataji, Anadi Krishna Prabhu, Champak Mataji, Nita Mukesh left. Okay, and then let's see who else is here. Anganga Mataji, Madhubala Didi, Pramila Didi, Vidalalasa Didi, and everybody else, Indira Mataji, Raseshwari Mataji, all devotees watching in the future, Shachi Devi Jayade Prabhu, Krishna Rose, Ananda Pradayani, Dandavat pranams. Thank you so much for joining. See you all tomorrow to celebrate these three personalities. Hari Bol Chatamai Mataji.
Thank you, Prabhu. You're doing a super job.
Oh, Hari Bol. Thank you for
such a lovely translation. We're very fortunate to be listening to it.
Yes, yes. This is one of my favorite books, actually, because it's has everything in it. It has all the Leela, so many practical instructions for sadhaks, like so many practical instructions for our own progress, and all the philosophy, and it's just everything. It's like so well-rounded. Do you want to see the just yesterday, day before yesterday, I translated the Gauranga Stava Kalpataru by Srila Raghunath Das Goswami, and then just yesterday by Jantimala Mataji edited it.
Wow.
And so we're going to be adding this into the songbook. I finally mentioned to her, yeah, this is going to mess everything up, like all the layout and everything in the songbook. So this is good, but I just couldn't resist. It's so there, let me just open this up. Yeah, I'll just read the translation really quickly, and then we'll end the program because we still have 10 minutes or 5 minutes. So yeah. So this is the second in Srila Raghunath Das Goswami. He wrote this. There's a Stavavali, and these are the first stotra and Stavavali is Sachi Sunvashtakam, and this is the second one. So dramatic. You'll see. When all people see, and this is a very literal translation. I didn't, yeah. When all people see his graceful gait, they spit. They spit at the gates of even the most majestic, intoxicated elephant. And when they see his beautiful face, they spit at the splendid moon. With his own radiance, he outshines golden mountains. And with the waves of his words, he shames nectar. That Sri Gauranga rising within my heart intoxicates me. Actually, maybe this should be Mount Sumeru, because that's also Golden Mountain. Anyways, adorning himself with the various novel jewels of Mathura Virahini Sri Radha's ecstatic symptoms, such as loss of color, becoming stunned, a choked voice, trembling, tears, and horripilation. He is overwhelmed with delight as he laughs, perspires, and dances before the Lord of Nilachal. That Sri Gauranga, rising in my heart, intoxicates me. And here, Mathur Virahini means Srimati Radhika, who is in separation from Krishna when he's in Mathura. Okay, overwhelmed with the ecstasies of Sambhogaras, he dances with staggering steps as he drenches the people with abundant tears from his eyes, which have become like red syringes, squirting out his tears, drenching everybody. With joy, he bites his charming lower lip with his trembling teeth. That Sri Gauranga, rising in my heart, intoxicates me. And you see how there's like the contrasting verses. So this second verse is his extreme separation and ecstatic symptoms. And now this is in Sambhog, like when Radha and Krishna are meeting, and his joy, like these are so you see like the two different extremes of separation and meeting. Mahaprabhu's and then here's another like that. On some days in the house of Kashi Mishra, due to intense separation from the son of the king of Braj, his splendid joints would loosen, causing his arms and legs to assume an excessive length. Rolling on the ground, he would weep with a choked and piteous voice, being utterly and completely broken. That Sri Gauranga, rising in my heart, intoxicates me. Once at night, being overcome by intense longing and not finding any way to leave the house, he, without opening the three locked doors, crossed over 3 high walls and fell into the midst of a herd of Kalinga cows. I think those are the short pygmy cows in Puri. In that state of intense separation from Krishna, his limbs contracted into his body until he appeared just like a tortoise. That Sri Gauranga, rising in my heart, intoxicates me. So this one, his limbs are loosening, and in this one, his limbs are contracting. And we hear about this all in Chaitanya Charitamrita, but here we're hearing it directly from Raghunath Das Goswami, who personally witnessed all this. This is his own direct, with his own eyes, he witnessed all these things. You know, he's writing his own experience. Due to separation from his own Vraj, which was infinitely dearer to him than his own life, he, with his mind shattered by madness, would constantly speak delirious words and incessantly rub his moon-like face against the wall, which bore the blood that flowed from the wound. That Sri Gauranga, rising in my heart, intoxicates me. Actually, the word here is garshena. That means by grinding. But that word was a little bit too intense, and so we just wrote rub. But yeah. But yeah, so dramatic. Oh my God. Okay. Where is my beloved Krishna? Show him to me immediately, O friends. He spoke these words to the doorkeeper, like a complete madman, mistaking him for a Saki. When the guard replied, "Go quickly to see your beloved," Sri Gaurhari instantly seized his arm. That Sri Gauranga, rising in my heart, intoxicates me. I think it's like seizing his arm to take him along. Oh, and the words in parentheses here, like mistaking him for a Saki, like that, these are all from Sri Banga Bihari, who is a grand disciple. That's from his commentary. He's a grand disciple of Srinivasacharya. I looked at his commentary when we were making this. So, perceiving the great Chatak hill near Nilachal and mistaking it for Govardhan, he cried, "Aye, Swarup! I'm going from here to Vraj to see Govardhan, the Lord of Mountains." Saying this, he ran like a madman until his own companions held him back. That Sri Gauranga, rising in my heart, intoxicates me. Beneath that excellent pavilion made splendid for the Dola festival, Shri Shri Radhakrishna's swing pastime, he joined his Swarup Damodar and other personal associates. He himself sang, with dramatic expression, an exceedingly charming song of the names of Murabhid Shri Krishna. That Sri Gauranga, rising in my heart, intoxicates me. He bestows abundant mercy upon his servant Govinda, just as Lakshmipati Vishnu bestows abundant mercy upon Garuda. He confers the kind of bhakti upon Ishwar Puri that the best of the Yadus, Shri Krishna, confers upon his preceptor Sandipani Muni. He shows affection to Swarup Damodar in the same way that Giridhari shows affection to the glorious Subal. That Sri Gauranga, rising in my heart, intoxicates me. He mercifully rescued me, though I am a fallen person, from the forest fire of great material opulence. He happily entrusted me, a lowly soul, to his own Swarup Damodar. He also bestowed upon me his dear Gunja necklace from his chest and a Govardhan Shila. That Sri Gauranga, rising in my heart, intoxicates me. This stotra is a wish-fulfilling tree. Its charming branches are these rows of verses, which shine with the splendor of its flowers, the various ecstatic moods that blossomed from Sri Gauranga. That person who repeatedly and abundantly waters this tree with the water of recitation, which has been powerfully purified by the potent herb of intense faith, will attain the supreme fruit, the merciful glance of a spiritual master steeped in ras.
Wow.
So, isn't that amazing?
This is unprecedented.
Yes. When I saw that, I was like, oh my God, we can't publish the book without including this. And so then yeah, I couldn't help myself. So
Oh, you
throwing out the entire layout, I have to manually enter all the page numbers in again for all the table of contents throughout the book. And it's going to be a whole headache, but I think it's worth the trouble.
Oh, yeah. It's so unusual. And
Yeah.
you're qualified with a poetic sensibility to put it all together nicely into a flowing paragraph for each stanza like that. Just beautiful.
I can't take the credit of translating it fully. What I did, my process was I got two Bengali translations. I got this commentary by Banga Bihari Vidibhushan. I'm sorry, Banga Bihari. Is that his name? Banga Bihari, disciple, yeah, grand disciple of Srinivasacharya. And then I looked at a bunch of other translations, and then I had Gemini break down all the Sanskrit for me so that I can, and then I used Gemini a lot, like and like that, and that's how I came up with the translation. So, yeah, it's like but yeah, it took a full day. I started at 9:30 in the morning, finished at 11:30 at night. It was like yeah.
It's amazing to do it in one day.
Yeah, yeah. I'm really trying hard to send the songbook to the printers before Kārtik's over. So yeah, really trying to rush.
All right. Well, we're all
Thank you so much.
Thank you, Prabhu.
Thank you, Madhukar. Thank you for taking that that time, that whole day, and translating this fabulous prayer. Thank you.
Thank you for encouragement. It's in the same meter as Mana Shiksha, also the same length, like exact. All right. Dandavat pranams, everybody. See you all tomorrow. Oh, yeah, yeah, it's the same. She's asking for the tune of it. It's the same like Nityanandāṣṭakam, Mana Shiksha, and Jagannathāṣṭakam. They're all in that same meter. All right. Haribol, everybody. See you all tomorrow. Jai Shri Radhe.